My supervisor attempted to mandate that we couldn't socialize outside work unless everyone was included, as she and her spouse were so unpleasant they lacked friends. Her birthday fell near Christmas, so she often turned the holiday gathering into a mandatory birthday celebration. If anyone declined to attend, she'd probe aggressively into their reasons and become irritated. She also instructed a colleague that her wedding had to include everyone or no one from work. I'm unsure how she planned to enforce this, but the employee invited her preferred guests anyway and faced a reprimand. I attended a Catholic high school where uniforms had to be purchased from a single shop. The trousers were outrageously priced and wore out quickly. When my final pair disintegrated, I wore similar-looking pants from another store. By day's end, I was in the principal's office, facing a suspension threat for violating the uniform policy. I despised that school. Arriving late to class repeatedly led to a 3-day suspension. However, if you knew you'd be tardy and simply arrived at the start of the second period, there were no consequences. You'd face punishment for tardiness, but not for skipping class entirely. My manager prohibited me and another colleague from spending time together outside work and restricted our workplace conversations. I asked my boss if I could skip work because I lived far out in the countryside and a snowstorm was approaching. She insisted I come in. I arrived late due to the snow, and 5 minutes later, they closed the store because of the blizzard. It took me 4 hours to travel 40 miles. In my first year of high school in 1968, I received a detention for wearing trousers with belt loops, but no belt. In Northern England, girls were told they couldn't wear trousers during winter. The new headmaster, who was deeply religious, enforced this absurd rule. So, several boys wore borrowed skirts to school in protest. We were all suspended for the day, but the policy was quickly reversed. It's a pity, as skirts were surprisingly comfortable. At my present workplace, if you call in sick or cite a family emergency during busy holiday or seasonal periods, you must still show up so the manager can verify your condition or the emergency's legitimacy. Failing to do so results in a formal write-up. Boys were forbidden from having buzz cuts or hair past their ears and couldn't wear shorts. Girls faced no clothing restrictions. Consequently, many boys wore skirts during hot summers and grew long hair tied in buns. A few girls opted for buzz cuts. After 2 years of fully remote work, management required us to return to the office for team building and collaboration. Yet, they sent emails warning us against excessive socializing or talking with colleagues. My employer directed me to collect login credentials and PINs for all employees' phones and personal email accounts. I refused, and he terminated me. Note, he frequently fired people. He was foolish and usually rehired them within days when he realized he couldn't meet contract obligations without us.